What is going on YouTube? King Reg, and we are back, and today I'm going to be breaking down exactly how cover 4 quarters works and how we can use some quick adjustments to really take on the overpowered Madden 22 offenses with an aggressive match defense. Alright guys, like I said, so this video we are going to be breaking down cover 4 quarters super in depth. Now for this scheme guys, we are going to be working out of the nickel 3-3-5 Sam formation in the Seattle Seahawks playbook. Now I'm going to be putting out a whole defensive scheme on YouTube guys. So I'm going to leave a link down in the description guys for the playlist for this entire scheme. So if you're checking this video out in the future, and then right now guys, the intro video will also be in that playlist. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should definitely go check it out. I really break down exactly why I think this match coverage defense is going to be so good for Madden 22. Then I go over the personnel and the ability point breakdown for this scheme. All right guys, so this is probably going to be my most in-depth video ever. It's probably going to be a little long, so I kind of want to give you a quick rundown on what we're going to go over. Now the first thing we're going to do guys is we're going to break down exactly how the stock cover 4 quarters works against a balanced set. So 2x2, whether that's 2 wide receivers and 2 slots, two receivers on one side with a tight end and then a wide receiver, or even like a wing formation with 2 receivers and 2 tight ends. Anything where there's 2 receivers on each side of the field, we're going to break down quarters against that first. So that is really going to be the stock look guys, and then I'm going to show you some quick adjustments we can do to really take this defense to the next level, unlock and really make it a great lockdown defense for Madden 22.
It's a different level. Believe me.
And then we're going to be going over who I like to use her against a balanced set, what routes we're looking for, and really just our strategy as a user on what we want to try to take away. And then I'm going to have a bunch of gameplay we are going to break down against balanced sets. Any 2x2 set, I'm going to show you, on the field as my user, what I'm reading, what kind of gives us trouble, the run fits, all of that guys we are going to cover with real gameplay footage, and we're going to break it down and show you how effective this defense can be. Then after that guys, we are going to go break down how cover 4 quarters works against a 31 set. So 3 receivers and then a wide receiver split outside. So not an inline blocker tight end, not a trips tight end look, but an actual classic tray look with the wide receiver split out. Now we're not going to have gameplay footage, and we're not going to be doing as in-depth of a breakdown for that guys, because in my next video I'm going to be breaking down cover 4 palms. Now against a balanced set guys, I prefer quarters. Against that trip set, I actually prefer palms. So we'll be kind of doing the opposite in the palms video guys. I'm going to have gameplay footage, all the extra adjustments, how I really like to use palms against that 3x1 formation. And then this video, I just kind of want to show you how it works against quarters if you guys want to use, quarters against 31. And then we're also going to have some blitzes that I'm throwing up on YouTube guys. And then next week guys, I'll be breaking down how I like to use cover 4 quarters against I form and against an empty look. And then if you even want to get more in depth guys, I'm going to be breaking down how I like to use match coverage against all the meta offenses, trips, tight ends, tight formations, gun bunch, which is everybody is using right now. So I'm going to go really in depth and over all of my adjustments on how I like to attack those meta offenses. Now if you want to see that guys, you are going to join my membership program. So to join that guys, there's a button down below. You click join. There's a few different options. I will be putting up 2 videos a week. We're going to be breaking down a ton more match coverage against those meta offenses in there. I have a preview video if you press join that you can watch, and it really explains what goes into joining my membership program. But basically that next level defense guys against those meta formations will be part of my membership program. All right guys, let's hop down on the field. So nickel 3-3-5 Sam, and we're going to be in cover 4 quarters. Okay guys, so first we're going to be breaking down the rules for a standard cover 4 quarters. So the first thing I want to go over guys is a bit of verbiage. So whenever I say 1 to 2, now 1 is actually going to signify the outside wide receiver on that side of the ball that we were talking about. So if I'm saying the right side of the field, number 1, that is the outside most wide receiver. Then number 2 would be the second most outside wide receiver. If I say 3, if it's a trips look, 3 will be the most inside receiver. So that's how it's going to work guys. Always 1 is the outside player moving in. Now, I want to go over the outside corners first, guys. The 2 outside corners in this 2x2 formation. So when I say 2x2, we're talking 2 receivers on each side of the ball. Now, once again, that can be an inline tight end, can be 2 tight ends and 2 receivers, but we're talking about a balanced set. These are going to be the rules. So the 2 outside corners, guys, their reads are always going to be 1 to 2. So they're going to read the outside wide receiver first. Now, their rule, guys, if he gets vertical And vertical for these players is 7+ yards. So if he goes past 7 yards vertical up the field, these two players are going to convert into match coverage. That's where that match coverage term comes from, guys. They're going to convert from zone to this match man zone coverage. So if those players get upfield past 7 yards, they're going to convert to man coverage right away. So whether that's a post route cutting into the middle, a deeper dig at 10 yards, or if they're just running a streak up the sideline, that is what's going to happen. Now, if number one runs a hitch, anything like that, a slant to the inside, if a drag, if they do not get vertical upfield, guys, then the corner, the outside corner, is always going to look to number two. Now, if number two is flying up the field getting vertical, then they're going to help bracket that player with the safety. But if that player also runs inside, runs anything else, then this outside corner is just going to convert to a normal deep quarter coverage. So instead of playing man, guys, they're just going to go back and they're going to play the deep quarter, the deep outside corner, of that side of the field, and look for anything coming back across the field. So those are the rules for those outside corners, guys, in this balanced set. All right, guys, now let's talk about these two middle safeties in these quarters coverage. So these two players, similar, but they're actually going to be reading 2-1. So they're going to read the slot players to the outside players. So similar rule though. If this player goes vertical, 7+ yards, once again, going to convert to man coverage, run with him all over the field. Now, same thing. Now, if this player runs a slant across the field, hitches up, runs to the flats, these players' eyes are going to turn and look to one. So they're going to look to that outside wide receiver. If number one runs straight up the field just on a go route, they are not going to help. But if he starts to run anything to the middle of the field, now these players are going to play what's called bracket coverage. They are going to help on the inside to number one. So if he runs a post in the middle of the field, guys, they're going to help on that post. If he runs a dig, they're going to help on that dig. So they're really looking 2-1, guys. If two stays shallow, goes to the outside, runs a drag, they are looking to one bracket coverage. And then if one is going vertical and two is going shallow, they're basically free, looking for anything coming to their side of the field. All right, guys, now we're going to be talking about these quarter flat players. Now, their first rule is they are going to get hands on number two. If number two runs upfield, guys, gets vertical to this safety, they are going to get hands on him and jam him and reroute him. That is their first rule, guys. Then they're going to go to the flats. So the first thing that takes them to the flats, if two gets vertical, then they're just going to go right to the flats. If running back goes to the flats, if the wide receiver hitches up, they will go right to it. Now, if two goes to the flats right away, they won't jam him. They will just sprint right to the flats on number two. Now, another thing with these quarters, guys, let's say the whole flow is going to the other side of the field. So let's say two runs a drag and one runs a deep over. What I've found with these quarters players, guys, is they will match this coverage till about midfield and then they will stop. And then they will wait for anything coming the other way. So basically they'll keep riding these players to the outside. Once they hit midfield, they will stop and they will just look if any drag, anything else is coming the other way. Now, the other thing, guys, these players play like a hard flat. If something goes into the hard flats, they are taking that player. They will not help on deep crossers. If there's something in the flats, they will not help deep. They are a hard flat player. They are not going to help on those deep crossers if there is something in their zone. The only other thing with these quarter flats, guys, if there is a wheel, these players will actually convert into man coverage as well. So if number two runs a wheel, they will convert into man coverage. So that is one thing to be aware of. If they run a wheel and then someone else is going to the flats, we will kind of go over what the computer will do with it, but you have to be aware of it. If they wheel off, this player will turn and run with him and he will not run his normal, quarter flat responsibility. All right, guys, and then our last coverage player we are going to be going over is this 3-rec hook. Now, basically, guys, against 2x2, I've messed with it a lot. Basically, they're just going to be free in the middle of the field. They don't have a super, in-depth responsibility. I know, like, if the running back runs straight up the field vertical, like splitting the safeties, they'll try and run with them. They're not very effective at it. Basically, their goal is to, help on crossers, help on drags, help on slants in the middle of the field. Also, I've noticed if they run a wheel route, like from number 2 and the quarter flat runs upfield with them, and then a drag is coming across the field from the other side of the formation, they will actually help on that drag and, you know, carry it to the sideline. But really, they're just in the middle of the field helping on, you know, crossers, drags, slants, anything to the middle. They're pretty much free to help with. All right, guys, so those are the basic rules for cover 4 quarters against a 2x2 set, any balanced set where there's 2 players on each side of the ball. Now, guys, I want to talk about our adjustments we can do to really, you know, take this defense to the next level. Now, the first thing I will always do, guys, is I will manually bring these 2 safeties down into the box a little bit. I just think they're starting at 15 yards. I like them more at, you know, 9 to 10 yards. They're going to be more involved in the play, be able to come down and help in the run, and they're just not going to be giving so much cushion. The other thing we can always do, guys, is we can shift our linebackers, we can shift our D line to the strength. So if, you know, we're in shotgun and we think they're running inside zone to the left, we can shift our D line to the left, we can shift our linebackers to the left. Same thing, let's say the running back was on the other side, you can always shift your D line. Those are basic, pretty basic, but you can always shift your defense. Okay, now we're gonna get into 2 other adjustments I like, guys, and these are kind of the keys. So I personally don't love how these quarter flats play at all. I think, especially the way Madden 22 is right now, they are super susceptible because they are jamming number 2, guys, and not letting him get upfield. They're getting hands on. If the running back goes to the flat on, you know, a flat route, an arrow route, anything like that, a table route, it is going to be basically an automatic completion every time. They're going to turn upfield and get 7 to 8 yards. So what I will really like to do, guys, is manually put both of my flat defenders into hard flats, just like that. This is not going to cancel out any of our match coverage on the back end. Now, the reason why I like this, guys, is because basically all 4 of these players, if they run, you know, to the curl flat area, to that deeper flat area, they're basically going to be locked up in man coverage anyway. So we don't really have to worry about those players getting, you know, deeper than that. So I really like the hard flats here. They're going to play much more aggressive on those running back routes. I also find quarter flats, if they're running drags from the other side and, you know, 2 is going upfield, the drags get wide open in the flats, guys. So I really personally don't really love those quarter flats. Now, if you want to use them, guys, try them out. If you like them, definitely use them. But my number 1 thing I will do in a balanced set is put hard flats on the field manually. Now, do not shade underneath, guys, because if you shade underneath and they run a streak, these outside players who convert into man coverage will basically get toasted almost every time for a touchdown. They just basically have to throw a streak and they'll run right by them. Now, if you don't shade underneath, you just put these guys in hard flats, that will not happen. So that is my main adjustment I will do, guys, to really just help this defense get taken to the next level. We're going to take away those quick throws to the flats. Then this aggressive match coverage on the back end is going to help take away everything else. All right, guys, and then the other thing I'll do, so instead of quarter flats, what we can actually do also is shade over the top. Now, this will put curl flats on the field. Once again, they won't jam in this position. Same in hard flats. They're not going to jam that number 2 anymore. They're going to get right out to the flats. Now, what I really like this for, guys, is if, you know, they're running a lot of crossers behind us, they're getting kind of to that deeper flat area, or they're running a lot of quick out routes, you know, those deeper out routes from that number 1 receiver. This player do a great job of, you know, getting underneath those routes and just helping us. So if they're really not attacking the flats, guys, or it's, you know, 3rd and 15 and we're running this, I like to play that curl flat over that quarter flat. Just help us, you know, get a little deeper and play, you know, give up a little bit more underneath, but really going to help behind us. All right, guys, now I want to talk about our user and how I really like to set this defense up. I always want a user the wide side safety. So this player right here, guys, is who I like to use her. Now, basically the reason why I like to do this, guys, I like to stay on the wide side of the field because if our number 2 player, who we're going to man up a decent amount, runs shallow, runs across, runs, you know, a slant, anything like that, runs to the flats, now we are basically free to either help on number 1 if he looks like he's going to get open on a post, or if any of the backside players run to the wide side of the field, which people do a ton. They're going to run crossers, they're going to run, you know, deep in routes, those 2 short side wide receiver slot back types, the tight end, and they're going to run them to the wide side of the field. So now if our number 2 goes to the flats, we are going to be totally free right here to do whatever we want. We're going to pick up crossers, we're going to be super aggressive. We're going to help number one on the outside sometimes, but really we're looking for those two players running across the field, and we're going to help them. And then the last thing, guys, with this user, if we see the run, we are going to come up and fill quick. Now, sometimes you'll get beat with play action. This is one time where play action can be effective. But if you see the run, as soon as you see that handoff, we are going to come up and we're going to fill hard and really help in the run. We're in a run fit with this. We're, as the user, the other safety is going to be aggressive, and as the user, we're going to be very aggressive in our run fit as well. Now, like I said in other videos and earlier, guys, this is a super fun way to play defense. You have to be super cerebral. We have to read number two, right? All right. So we've talked a lot. This is 2x2. If you have any questions, guys, definitely leave that down below. Anything, any comments, anything, leave it down below. But now we're going to look at the gameplay footage, and I'm going to show you how this works on the field. All right, guys, if you are liking what you are seeing so far, definitely leave a like on this video. It helps your boy. It helps the algorithm. It really helps me get my name out there. And if you are also new, guys, not subbed yet, definitely sub down below. I don't want you guys to miss any of this match coverage scheme. All right, guys, so here we go. We are in a spread look right here. We're on the hash, so we're going to be using the wide side safety. So let's take a look at this, guys. So right away, we're going to be reading this player here as the user. So we look here, guys. He's getting vertical. Right here, he runs past 7 yards. That is our player 100%. But because I shaded underneath and I see him running to this 3-rec hook, I see I have another corner over here. Technically, this is our guy, but this is where I'm talking. As the user, guys, we're going to be very aware. Okay, we have help on the inside. I'm actually going to pass this guy off right here when I see the post. Then we are going to help on this post. We see our backside safety, guys. This is a post. He's going to man match him. That's number 2 going up the field. Man match right away. We look on the outside, guys. Comeback route, man match with our corner route. Our cornerback. Another comeback route on this side, man match across the field. So right here, we see we pass this player off. We're going to help our safety in the middle of the field, but we have acrobat on Ed Reed. We see we get a little bit of a hit on this player, but it doesn't matter. Ed Reed high points the football. We see that man match, fire in on that post and take that away. Okay, guys, now on this one, this is a wing formation. So we're going to have 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, but it's still going to be a balanced look. So we're going to treat it the exact same as spread, same if there's one inline tight end. Balance, we're going to play quarters, we're going to have the same responsibility. So we're going to be reading these 2 players here, guys. So right here, we see this player block. So now we are going to leave this. This is number 1. We're going to, eyes are come off that. Number 2 is blocking. We are fine. So now we're totally free. So right here, guys, we have a hard flat on the field. We have a quick out. That is getting taken away. We have a hard flat here. We have a running back to the flat. That is going to be taken away. So now as the user, guys, we are just going to be helping whatever we see coming to the wide side of the field. This is exactly why I like to play this wide side safety, because these 2 players, guys, are running deep cross or deep post. So this player actually gets open pretty well on this match coverage, but because we are free in the middle of the field, guys, we are helping. We are going to get back. We are going to play that. So we're helping on this player, guys. If we're not there, he's going to throw that 100%. We see this deep post totally taken away. This player's here. This player's here. Nothing is open. We're getting, pass rush up the middle. He tries a little delay fade. We're able to tackle him for no gain. Okay, here we go again, guys. So this is actually pistol spread. So same thing. We're going to user this wide side safety, and we're going to read number 2. Number 2 is running a drag. So our eyes are coming off that right away. So now we're going to look to number 1. He's running vertical up the field. We're going to trust our corner. We're going to think, you know what? Our corner can take that. Now we're looking for anything coming our way, guys. So drag's coming across the field to a 3-rec. To our nickel corner in the flats. That is totally fine. So now we're going to read these 2 players, and we're just going to help whichever one gets open. So we look here, guys. This player's taken away. We see this player gets about a step on him. I actually fake I'm going deep. Then I come back underneath with our user. We make a great play, and we are so close to a baited, user pick. All right, guys. So this is a bit different of a formation. This is normal Y off close. So when this player's staggered in like this, and then we get a wheel from the running back, that is actually going to mess with our quarters a little bit. So really, our corner here, this is 1, should have been running vertical, but this wheel is actually going to kind of mess with him here. But as our, we're the deep safety on this play, 2 and 1 are running vertical. Both players on this side of the are running vertical. So even though our corner kind of bugs out and doesn't play this right, we are running vertical with both these players. We are going to get on our horse, run up field with 1, make up for this match coverage error, and we're going to get a high flying pick. So that is one thing with match coverage, guys. People will say a ton. Well, I get bombed over the top for one play touchdowns when I play match coverage. We are going to be taking away a ton of that with our user. Whenever someone gets beat, guys, we are going to be free such a big amount of the time that we can help all over the field. All right, guys, so these next two plays, I kind of want to just show you what it looks like when we play hard flats, why we do it, and then the next one we're going to show you kind of what it looks like when we play curl flats. So here it is, guys, 2nd and 1. I'm going to play hard flats on this play. So we're going to look here, guys, right away. Look at our corner. He's getting to the hard flats right away. So this is our hard flat defender on this side, guys. So he's going to play super aggressive to the first player to the flats. So right here, guys, he has a little wheel coming out of the backfield with our running back. Now, if we were playing quarters, he's probably going to be getting back. He's going to be riding this player back, and this is going to get wide open. But hard flats on the play, guys, he's going to step right in front for an easy pick. Okay, now I'm going to show you playing curl flats, guys, and where this can really help. So right here, we're going to read 2. He's going to run in. Our eyes are going to come off of that. We're looking for any noise. We don't really see anything, guys, but this is where I'm talking about. So we're running curl flats on this play. So we see these two players, guys, are getting vertical. So if they were in hard flats here, if they're in quarter flats, they're going to be down much closer to the line of scrimmage, but they're actually playing off. I knew we had curl flats on the field this play, so I'm actually going to be getting on my horse, helping deeper down the field. But we see right here, guys, this curl flat reads that. He's going to get way more depth, and here he is getting a pick at about 15-20 yards back behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, now I want to show you guys some of our pass rush and how gnarly this pass rush can be and how quickly it can get there. So right here, guys, same thing, balance formation, 2x2, read number 2. So he's running a little whip route going to the flats. We are coming off that right away. We look at this player, he's getting vertical, eyes off that. So now we're going to be looking at the backside, guys. We see a deeper cross and we see a deep post. So I'm really just helping on whichever one I think is open. We see the 3 rec getting under this deep cross. We see a comeback totally locked up. The deep post was maybe open here, guys, but here's our 4-man pass rush. They don't even have time here to really let that develop down the field, and we're able to get a sack. All right, guys, one more quarters. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Let's see this pass rush. So we're going to read 2. He runs a whip, very similar setup right there. We're looking for any noise right here. We see this backside dig. We see everything else going wide, guys. So as the user, we want to help on this. We want to sit, but it doesn't even matter. Look at this, 4 guys all meeting at the quarterback. He got about a 2-3 step drop there. You guys will see that a ton if you have a good D-line. 4-man pass rush, if they're sending everyone on routes, we are going to get home pretty quickly. Okay, here it is again, 2x2, guys. I want to show you run fits, how our safeties are going to react in the run game. So right here, watch our 2 safeties. So I'm actually using this player. Then at the last second, I actually accidentally click off. But watch Ramsey on this play, guys. This is what makes this run defense so good. He is playing the run, shot out of a cannon, getting upfield. Ezekiel Elliott tries to spin out, and we're actually getting a tackle for a loss on that play with a safety playing at depth. Same thing here, guys. We're going to bring our safeties up in the box a little more. They're going to do inside zone. Watch our safeties, guys. I'm going to react, come upfield. We see Ed Reed coming upfield, filling. So our safeties are going to react super fast, super quick, and be a part of the run game. Okay, guys, now I want to go over a few things that can give us some trouble. So cover 4 quarters here once again, guys. So right here, we're going to read this player. He's getting vertical. So now we have to run vertical with this player. This player is going across the field. He's going to be going to help, but we see this deep crosser here actually is able to beat our safety on this side of the field. We're going vertical. Our number 2 is going vertical, so we have to take that route. We have this flat defender. He is not getting deeper. We had him on hard flat, not on a curl flat. So right here, they're able to get that deep cross in over our head. So if they run everyone off, guys, if you're the user and you can't help on those deep crosses because you're getting run off, sometimes they will get open running across the field. Okay, here's another one, guys. Once again, this is where we can't get too aggressive. It's really important as the user, we don't react too quickly. So right here, guys, we're reading 2. What is 2 doing? He's getting vertical. But what do I read, guys? My eyes are inside and I see a screen. So I'm like, I'm going to blow this shit up. I'm going to get a pick going the other way. What does he see? My guy running wide open along the seam, because that's my guy. This is where, as the user, guys, we have to be super aware. Luckily, I think, yeah, we're able to tackle him, but we have to be super aware. Yes, I see a screen pass, but my player is going vertical. So unless you are free, you have to be very cognizant. You have to think, what is 2 doing? It's a bounce set. What is 2 doing? How am I reacting? He's going upfield. Okay, I can't get too aggressive coming downhill. Okay, then one more time, guys. Here's pistol spread right here. So 2 goes in, not going to worry about it. We see this player coming across the field, kind of helping there, but I see this deep post is getting wide open, guys. Look at this. He fires that in over his head. Sometimes these players on the outside will just get beat, so they'll run that deep post. Sometimes, you know, they're just faster. That's Jamar Chase, 91 speed. We have a Marlon Humphrey who's good, but I think he's only 88 speed. Here's our user. We're about 2-3 steps too late. They're able to bomb us for a 1-play touchdown. But let's look at the very next play. So if this is very next drive, guys, same exact opponent. I see he's in the same formation. So this is where a user, we got to be aware. Okay, he just hit us for a bomb. What are we going to do? I see the exact same route combo. This guy in, this guy in. Look at me here, guys. I'm getting on my horse and I am getting back. And now we just get an easy pick. So right here, guys, this is about reading, reacting. If they beat us for a touchdown, catalog that. Okay, it's the same route combo. I am getting to that deep post. They're going to try us again, and we get the pick. All right, guys, now let's look at quarters coverage against a 3-by-1 set. All right, guys, now we're going to quickly go over quarters by 3-by-1. So once again, just to clarify, guys, this is going to be 3-by-1 with the receiver split out on a solo side, not in line as a tight end. So the first player we want to go over is the corner on the trip side. Now he's going to read this basically the same way as quarters versus 2-by-2. So he's going to read 1 to 2. Now if 1 goes vertical past 7 yards, he's going to convert to man coverage. If 1 goes shallow, he's going to look to 2. If 2 goes vertical straight up the field, he's going to help bracket that player. If 2 also goes in, he's going to drop back into that outside quarters coverage. Then guys, we're going to look at the safety on this trip side. Now once again, it's going to be very similar to his read against 2-by-2. He's going to read 2 to 1. He's going to take 2 if 2 goes vertically. If 2 shuts it down, runs a drag, runs a slant, runs an out route, runs a flat route, he's going to look to 1. If 1 is running a post, anything to the middle of the field, he's going to help double him. Then if 1 is just running a streak down the field, he's just going to kind of be free. He's going to be waiting for something else to come to his area. Then we're going to look at this safety on the solo side, guys. This is where it gets a little bit different. Now, his first read is always going to be this trips player, this third receiver in. Now, if 3 goes vertical, guys, a seam route, a deep cross, any vertical route, he is going to convert to man coverage. That is his guy. So that is his first read. Now, if 3 runs anything else, if he runs shallow, out, anything else that isn't vertical, now his eyes are going to go to the backside. He's going to be looking at number 1, and he's going to help bracket coverage number 1. So if number 1 just runs straight vertical, he's not going to help there. He's just going to help anything else running across the field. But if number 1 runs a post, anything in towards the middle of the field, now he's going to help double that player with the corner. So speaking of the corner, he is going to be locked up man coverage on the solo side receiver all over the field. So it's going to be straight man coverage. It doesn't matter what route he runs. Even if he runs a hitch, a slant, anything, it is going to be straight man, follow him around the field. So that is our 4 back outside match players. Now let's look at the 2 quarter flats. So this quarter flat on the trio side, on the trip side, is basically going to play the exact same as a quarter flat on, that double side on a 2-by-2. So he's going to hands on 2, ride him up the field if he's in a quarter flat. Then he's going to go to the flats to the next person going out there. And then if 2 just goes right to the flats, he will take him. Now where it gets a little bit different is once again on the solo side, guys. So this player here in this quarter flat, he is actually going to be locked up in man coverage on the running back. Now, if the running back, runs a route, he's going to be man coverage no matter where he goes. So if the running back runs straight vertical up the field, he's in man coverage. Now, if he actually runs a route, going to the flats to the trip side, he's going to be in man coverage on that player. But if the running back stays in the block, he's just going to go out and play a kind of normal flat defender role. And then the last coverage player is going to be this 3-rec hook, guys. So this once again is where it gets a little bit different. So his first responsibility in this defense, guys, is he's going to read number 3. Now, if number 3 is running a crossing route, trying to run vertical, he's actually going to carry the tight end across the field, This is his goal anyway. Madden isn't great for it, but this is what he should do. He should carry this route to number 3. So he's going to help number 3 play under this route. And then once this, number 3 receiver gets to that safety, who's, his responsibility, then he's going to come off of that. Now, if 3, runs a hitch, runs to the flats, he's going to kind of play a normal 3-rec position. Now, the only other thing, guys, let's say the running back runs, a seam route up the middle of the field. Now that quarter flat is going to be in man coverage with him. So what you're going to see then, guys, is if one of those 3 players on the trip side runs a drag, anything across the field shallow to where the flat defender should be, but he's in man coverage, now the 3-rec hook is basically going to pick him up in man coverage. He's going to replace that quarter flat in the flat and, take that first responsibility going across the field to the flat defender. That is really the basic overview against trips, guys, with the quarters coverage. Now, like I said earlier, I prefer palms against 3x1. So then, the next match coverage video we go over, I'm going to be showing you how palms works, how I like to set it up, all our different adjustments. Until then, if you want to play this match defense and you come out, you play quarters, how this is going to work, guys, I once again would probably try to put some hard flats on the field, and I'm going to user this backside safety, this solo side safety. You're going to read that number 3. If he runs vertical, if he runs a deep crosser, you have him. If he doesn't, you're basically free to help anywhere you want. But once again, when I put out that palms video, guys, I'm going to go way more in depth and show you why I like palms better and how it works against a 31 set. All right, guys, that is it. Be on the lookout for my next video. It is going to be a really nasty blitz to pair with our match coverage.